Hi there, my name is Mackenzie, and welcome back to another episode of my podcast series and stuff like that. Wow, boy. Late and delayed episodes just keep on coming, aren't they? That's so much fun, because you got to explain to people why you can't meet the deadline. So this is coming out on a Monday. I believe that's a first for the series. Delayed episodes have normally been on Sunday. But this is coming out on a Monday because I recorded an episode, but I figured it would be better suited for the next season, the next season's theme, and B, I lost it. I lost it. The soundtrack completely crapped itself, and it didn't work. So, hey, all fun and games at the end of the day. But today, I am going to be talking about my history with bands. To date, I've been in two bands, and both of them were, I was in both of them in 2022. But we got to go back to 2021 to start off with. So, I'm trying to figure out where I start with. Okay, right. So, I think around mid-2021, I was trying to make it as a musician. I was doing various open mics at a local bar, Hopaholics. I missed that bar. It shut down. But I also had done a little performance thing at school, which I thought was pretty good, It was back at a time where I would exclusively listen to Johnny Cash. I played some Johnny Cash. And that was around the time that I started to get a bit into Bo Burnham and Wilbur Soot. A little bit of other music like that. Those kind of artists just kind of lit the spark that led me to discover other musicians and bands that I really like. So that's cool, Yeah. It was also during that performance that I found out that one of my friends, former neighbor, one of my friends was in a band. That band was called Bad Wi-Fi. It was composed of three members, Liam, Finn, and Victor. And they were looking for a vocalist and like a spare guitarist. And so I figured, yeah, why not? Actually, no, that's a bit later, because there's a little bit before that. So if you're at all familiar with me, or you've heard me ramble on about things before, you may know that on my first proper YouTube channel, Mackenzie H, I did a thing that was called My Sort of Live Album. This came from wanting to do a live show, for about an hour and a half. I couldn't do that because we went into lockdown. So I thought, hey, I'd do my sort of live album. And I did do that. And I thought it was pretty good. And I might actually do another one if I can actually find the motivation. But that live show, I was going to have Liam's band do like an opening. They were going to open for me. So, Bad Wi-Fi. Liam was the bassist. He was my neighbor. Finn was the drummer and the band leader, and Victor was the guitarist. So I think it was around in September, I believe, that September or October, that I decided to join the band as the vocalist. And I had it was all fun to begin with. Because I also joined as a spare guitarist. I think I joined as like the main guitarist. because I think what our plans for Victor is that he was going to be the lead guitarist. He was going to do like the riffs, you know. I was just going to do chords and singing. But yeah, it was pretty good. I remember the first kind of band meeting that we had. I went into it more seriously than I probably should have, seeing as it was a school band. Because I went into there wanting to bring something to the table. So I was like, okay, so I've got these demos. And I've got like some ideas for lyrics. We'll probably like write some lyrics as a band, you know. And they were just like, yeah, cool, whatever. Yeah. Another thing I remember is that this was around the same time as we were recording Your City Made Me Boring. While we were doing that, I asked Ben, who was recording it, if he could just really quick let me record a couple of band demos, just simple on the acoustic guitar, nothing too special. But those band demos, I ended up showing them, and we started working on one up until like the end of 2021, when someone pointed out to me that it sounds like Where Is My Mind by the Pixies. I think it's the Pixies, yeah. And yeah, I listened to the song, I listened to the chords I wrote, and I said, yeah, that's Where Is My Mind. Fuck. I hate that feeling, like when you think you've come up with something really good and then it turns out someone else has already done it before you. It's fucking horrible. It's the worst and I hate it. Yeah. So, for the next little while, we ended up doing quite a bit of work. Well, I mean, I say quite a bit of work, but it wasn't that much work. And none of us really took it that seriously. The only time, like the point where I started to take it more seriously was like 2022. Yeah. But we're still in 2021. And yeah, to be completely honest, Victor wasn't showing up much to the band rehearsals. And we kind of felt like we didn't need him. So Liam and Finn decided that they were going to kick him out of the band. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy, you know, like, I don't want to be that guy, but I guess it was majority vote. So yeah, Victor, was kicked out of the band. And the three of us went on to basically form the second version of Bad Wi-Fi. It was on the 30th of November 2021 that I announced that I had joined a band, and I posted it to Instagram with the band's logo, which I actually think is really cool. I was really happy with that, because it's like got the instruments, it's got the drumsticks, the bass, the guitar, and the microphone, and it's got Bad Wi-Fi with kind of like pixels in the middle. You have to go find it on my Instagram because it's pretty cool. Yeah, so for the next little while, we tried to work on the original, but we also started working on some covers. Now, I believe I still have the video, and at some point I might post it as like a I don't know what you call it, because I'm trying to think of it, but I just can't think of it. But I still have the videos from when Bad Wi-Fi was a thing. And it was during one of the early rehearsals in 2021. So we did a couple of songs for that. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And when it came to the end of the year, I made a post on the Bad Wi-Fi account saying, oh, there's going to be so much stuff in 2022. There's going to be like a live show, probably. We're going to do a bunch of open mics and performances. We're going to start gigging. We're going to do all of these things. And actually, I had it in my mind that I was only going to stick around for like a year or two because I had plans to go to film school, basically. It's this course in ARA, which is a school. And I was going to do that after I left high school, which would be 2022. So I told the guys, look, we got to make the most out of this because I'm only going to be around for so long. Those plans ended up changing twice. So the first time it changed to, I'm not going to leave next year. I'm going to take a gap year, work, save up some money, enjoy more time with the band, and then I'll leave. And then it changed again to, no, this ain't happening. I'm not doing any more fucking school, mates. Yeah, that was kind of fun. So, yeah. So 2021 ended up being like, we've got pretty much the basics down. We've got the 3 core band members, and it was going to be all fun and cool, It's going to be fucking awesome. 2022 came around, and in February, I believe, we had our first... Well, it was either the start of February or the end of January, but we had our first band practice. We did it in Finn's garage, which was quite fun. About half of it was practicing, and the other half was just goofing around, as most band practices go. But we didn't goof around the traditional way. We went to a little playground that was close to where he lived. We just made food and ate it. Pretty much most of it was just goofing around and not doing much. When school came back, we did band practices almost every lunchtime. And it was really fun. Some of the common songs that we would play was The Fall, Taunt, and Freaks. And Perfume. These were those 4 songs were pretty much the ones that we would play most of the time. For a little while, we wanted to learn Romance is Boring, It's All Futile, It's All Pointless, Boys Don't Cry. That was another one that we were going to do. But we tried doing them, but we just didn't do it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is going to be a much shorter episode. Considering that we're up to like midway through the band's history, and I've got one more band to go, and that history doesn't go very far. So this is probably going to be a shorter episode, like half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, maybe, the original length of this episode of this podcast. So we're doing it, we're jamming, we're cruising. And I need to find information on this particular one because at some point, roughly around mid-2022, we did an open mic at Art Soup. So give me one moment and I'll try and find that video. Oh, 9 months ago. So on the 19th, no, I don't think it was the 19th of June. That was just probably the date I posted it. Give me one quick second and I'll try and find the date, because I'm pretty sure I put the date in. I'm sure I put the date in somewhere. 18th of June. Right, so on the 18th of June, Bad Wi-Fi performed at the Art Soup open mic. In fact, we were the opening act. Now that performance, I believe it was on a Friday. Let me check. June 18th of June 2022. 18th of June. It was a Saturday, right? Now, this performance is it wasn't as rough as a lot of people imagine it being, considering the fact that on the 14th, the Tuesday of the same week, me and my girlfriend at the time split. We broke up. And I honestly didn't really process it until about 3-4 weeks later. And then I just got really sad. But yeah, I think I went into that performance determined to give it my all, you know? Yeah, and I kind of just wanted to show what we got. Because honestly, at the time, I didn't think we were half bad. We were bad, hence the name Bad Wi-Fi. But yeah, I thought we were good, you know? I thought at the time we were good. Yeah. And it kind of made it a little bit more like give it motivation, considering the fact that she was there. She was there at the event. Yeah, so, yeah, what's important next? So, Art Soup. That was the youth space in our local town. And we kind of liked the setup that they had because they had speakers and microphones and a mixing desk and lights, and they had all the whistles and bells that we would have needed for a perfect practice space. So I think it was like July or August. Oh yeah, it was August. Yeah, I've got the No, well, it was either July or August that I had talked to the people who were running Art Soup about using their space like once a week or maybe twice a week at night as like a band practice space. We did this once and never again. But like I remember like I was doing it like I was the front man because I was like the manager of the band because I actually went up and asked them, hey, I'm in a band. Do you reckon that we could use your space maybe once or twice a week for band practice? And they said, yeah, come in for a meeting. And so I brought the other guys in, although I think it was only Liam who was available for the meet. And this was during the time where at school we were running the school production of High School Musical. So after one of the after one of the performances, I had rushed. I had got my dad to rush me down to town because we had to make the meet immediately after. And I picked up Liam on the way, and we went to Art Soup and we talked with them, and I think we agreed on like one night a week, or like one night every 2 weeks. And I was like, yeah, you know, that's cool because other practices we can just do at school. We did this once. Yeah, like I said, we did this once and then never again. Yeah, so the next couple of months, nothing really much happened. We kept working on the songs that we had. After that Art Soup open mic, we had recorded a basically band demo video to send off to like a competition that we were going to enter, or basically we just recorded the demo. We didn't enter the competition, but there was no competition, but basically we recorded a demo to send off as like, here, this is who we are, you know? We did 3 songs, I think. I think it was Taunt, The Fall, and Freaks. The Fall was my favorite one to do. It was so fucking cool. I was in love with that song. Yeah, I was really, really happy with it. Although, I will say, if you go back and look at the Bad Wi-Fi at Art Soup, you'll notice a couple of things wrong. Sometimes Finn isn't quite on time, or he is on time and he messes up a couple of things, particularly in perfume, I believe. And Liam is just out of time. on the bass. He's playing the wrong notes at the wrong time. This is no hate to them, because they have potential, you know, and it's all good fun at the end of the day. But to be completely honest, I was taking this band more seriously than I should have, especially considering other particular events that were about to happen. So now we're kind of approaching the end of the band's history, but I want to read you something first. So for context on what this is, last year as a digital tech, as a digitech project, I had to create a magazine based on a topic. And what's the topic I know the most about? It's the Mackenzie H brand. I made a magazine about myself. It's so cool. I'm so fucking happy with it, because there's just jokes everywhere. There's a joke about my own. There's a whole article about my own custom made "Your City Made Me Boring" gold record. And the entire thing, I hold on, I've got credits on the back, because if you remember my old content, you'll know that Joel Manson was a little part of, like, it was a like running gag, and I actually brought him back for the "Your City Made Me Boring" commercial, and I was going to bring him back for a road trip commercial, but then I didn't end up doing that. But it says at the bottom, magazine edited by Joel Manson. I'm not even kidding. I shoehorned this fake character in everywhere. He's the photographer. He's the journalist. He's my social media manager. He's fucking amazing. Joel Manson is this character I've fucking created, and now I've manifested him into like running my like brand. It's so funny. It's so cool, and I fucking love it. So what this is an article that Joel Manson wrote for the Mackenzie H brand magazine. So this is about the second band I joined, Deadside. Right. In this magazine, there is in this, I'm going to be referring to someone I'm no longer friends with. I'm not going to name them, but I'm not going to use their real names. I'm just going to call them Rachel. So, Deadside. In 2021, Mackenzie joined a band called Bad Wi-Fi. Together, they did pretty much nothing except for one live appearance at an open mic. A few months ago, Mackenzie decided to join another band. So this was at the time of writing it. So this would have been July, August, September, around that time. So basically, I was still in Bad Wi-Fi when I joined another band. A few months ago, Mackenzie decided to join another band by the name of Wikiheads, who later changed their name to Dying Iceberg for one open mic. So Wikiheads came from basically a joke. It was an improv jam that we were doing, and Kyle was on the drums. You'll learn who Kyle is later. Kyle was on the drums, I was on the guitar, and Rachel was just basically reading Wikipedia. I think some of the articles they were reading were articles on the Big Bang Theory and then on the Titanic. And there were a couple other ones that we did. Today, they are known as Darkside. The band consists of his friends Rachel and Kyle, as well as Mackenzie. Does it explain... Yep, it does. Right. A few weeks after they got together, Mackenzie decided to leave Bad Wi-Fi due to personal reasons. So this was right at the end of Bad Wi-Fi, like the second kind of era of Bad Wi-Fi. So there was an argument between me, Finn, and Liam, and I decided to leave the band. After this particular event, he decided to put all of his band energy into Darkside. Impressively, even while with Bad Wi-Fi, Darkside managed to perform to perform at multiple open mics, but are yet to perform a gig. Their goal is to get people dancing by playing bops. Mainly, they play music by the band Los Campesinos, but they have expanded into other music like Ghostbusters and Greener by Tally Hall. Unfortunately, the future of the band is uncertain, as it has been rumored that Kyle, the band's main drummer, will leave early next year for university, as well as rumors that Mackenzie might also leave the band. Only time will tell for the future of Darkside. Joel Manson, journalist. So, for the band, we had different roles. But I would consistently stay on vocals and guitar. Kyle Shear would be the drummer, and Rachel would be on the keyboard and like female vocals. So that went on for a little while. So when I wrote this, Kyle was going to be leaving for university, and he's gone now. It's quite sad, but yeah, that's how it works. But it wouldn't have lasted anyway with just me and Rachel because we had a falling out. This is the theme so far. We had a falling out, and I kind of unofficially left the band in like November, December, I think. Yeah. It was all good, except when it wasn't. So it's also important to know that while all of this was happening, Bad Wi-Fi was entering its kind of like third era. They renamed themselves, they changed the logo, they got a new member, and they rebranded themselves as Fixed Wi-Fi, thinking... I think the logic behind that was that the worst member had left. We will soon learn that is not true, and I was in fact the tape that was holding the band together. But they got a new member to replace me after I left, and they didn't do anything a whole lot for about a month or two, because the band very quickly fell apart. I'm not going to state exactly what happened as I don't have the full picture, but I do know that it was girl problems. And it was relationship. I'm not quite exactly certain what happened, but I know that because of these relationship issues between the two members, they split and took the whole Bad Wi-Fi with them. So that was the end of the band, and that was the end of their very short-lived third era. Yeah, so, yeah. I don't know what else there really is to say. I've kind of run out of things to say. I'll talk about future bands. So, right now, I don't really have any plans on joining any bands in the future, considering the fact that there's not that many that I can join in the crappy little town that I am in. But yeah, for now I'm just going to be working on albums, working on music, working on my own solo thing, and getting good at learning like multiple instruments, so that when there is a band that I could join, I could be like, hey, I play this, or I play these instruments. Is there anything you want me to do? And they can just say, yeah, cool, do that. Here are the songs. And then I can get back to doing gigs as in like a band, which would be pretty cool. Yeah. I've kind of run out of things to talk about. I'm going to talk about my albums, sneak peek into the albums. So, you remember Josh from the last episode, right? He's told me that my birthday present for this year is going to be a vinyl record, which is basically a compilation of his favorite songs of mine. But in order to complete that, I need to create and re-record new songs. So, what I've got now is 3 albums, one of them that I'm working on right now, but 3 albums that are going to be rushed before the end of the year, before about October. So by October, you're going to have 3 albums. with a fourth one that's just for me. Fourth one on the way in about early next year because I want to take time to have a break. There's going to be a single as well, probably between the album that I'm working on and the next. And there's a lot of songs. It's going to be quite a lot of work. But if I just stick my ass down and just get motivated, I can do it. Yeah. And I might... Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm just thinking to myself right now. Yeah. So if the music does end up being absolutely dog shit and you want to blame someone for rushing it when instead of just taking the time, you can blame Josh. Yeah. So, 30 minutes into the episode. This is good. This is definitely going to make up for the fucking 2-hour-long episode last time. Yeah. Okay, cool. Right. So, what I'm going to do for this episode song is I'm going to play a short little song that me and the band like to play. I talked about it earlier. It's called Freaks. And I'm going to do like a little rendition of that just on the acoustic guitar. I'll do the riff as well in a separate track because that's the bit everyone knows. Yeah, so I'll just get that, and hopefully I'm not yelled at for being too loud, but if I keep it down, then that shouldn't be a problem. Yep. Okay. Move it down here. This seems to go out right. Alright. This is Freaks by Surf Cruise. There you go. Yeah, you'll hear a lot better rendition of it in the next album. And there's a couple of songs that are going to be re-recorded for Josh's little project. 3 of them are from Bad Wi-Fi. A couple of them are from the songs that Darkside and me played. And I think it's going to be cool to show that I've gotten so good at like doing my own thing that like I can basically replace every single member of the band. Every single member of Bad Wi-Fi, that is, to some extent. Yeah. Right. That's all I really have to say, other than just saying thank you very much for listening. I know this is a bit of a letdown after the last episode, especially since this one is late. But, oh well, what are you going to do? Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!